I can hear the thunder rolling, and the rain begins to fall. I can feel my courage tremble after I have come so far. Today my heart is sinking, and my world is caving in. But there's light on the horizon, and the darkness will give in to one more day of hope, one more day of faith. Tomorrow will be brighter if I get through today. Better days are coming further down the road. So for now I'll just keep clinging to one more day of hope. One more day. One more day. And I know that I'll get through this. My dreams are in my grasp. When I find the power within me, I know this storm will pass. It will only make me stronger. When this victory I've won, I can last a little longer if I keep holding on to one more day of hope, one more day of faith. Tomorrow will be brighter if I get through today. Better days are coming further down the road. So for now I'll just keep clinging to one more day of hope, one more day. Better days are coming further down the road. So for now I'll just keep clinging to one more day of hope. One more day. One more day.
That's one of my favorite songs by Amy Lacey. It's absolutely beautiful. She composed that song after she suffered a miscarriage. And now she's the mother of 5 beautiful children. 5 of them. So, one more day of hope. Sometimes we just need one more hour of hope. Sometimes we just need the faith of a mustard seed. I wear mustard seeds on my bracelet. Faith of a mustard seed. I got me a new bracelet today. I think I'm going to take my charms off of my black bracelet and put them on my silver bracelet. But it's one more day. Just one more day of hope. You know, I love this verse, Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews is a powerful book, y'all. I quoted a verse this morning from Hebrews 13:2. Sometimes we entertain angels. So this morning I told you we were going to talk about one time I was driving down the road, and this is so wonderful. I used to work for a pallet company, a sawmill in western Tennessee, and it was the job I took after my boss died. My boss, Mr. Hersch Whitfield, died, and on my son's birthday, September the 11th of 1988, I believe it was. And the next job I took was, I had the job before we closed down the appliance store. And the banker had asked me to go and help get their books in order. You know, I was a pretty good bookkeeper, but I could do a lot of things. But sawmill had been in my family. I mean, I remember playing in a sawmill when I was like 5 or 6 years old. Yeah, playing in an old sawmill. I don't think it had been run for a long time, but Patty and I would go out there and play at Granny Pickard's in this old sawmill. So sawmills had been in my family. And they were woodworkers, and all the wood in Granny's house had been cut at that sawmill. Old oak. It was a beautiful old house. And when I went to work at the sawmill, it was hard. It was nonstop. It was somebody coming in all the time to the office, all the time. And I couldn't get anything done. I had to take my work home. But I remember a company we had done business with, and we built pallets for them. They built boxes, and we built the pallets, and then they sold the whole unit to somebody who sold, they sold lawnmowers. So I'm driving down the road. I've got to go to Raleigh for some reason, and I am just about past Hickory, almost to another big town that way, Winston-Salem. And I'm trying, for some reason, I can't think of that box company. We're needing boxes at the office. We're needing boxes. And I can't think of that box company to give them a call to see if they have a box that will fit a certain thing. And I'm just racking my brain, and it's driving me nuts. And I called Robert up, and I'm talking to him, and I said, honey, I can't think of the name of this company. He didn't know me then. He had no clue what I was talking about. And so I said, well, I better get off the phone. And I'm driving down the interstate. And all of a sudden, coming up beside me on the left was the answer to my question. What's the name of that company? Stone Container came rolling past. Now, if that wasn't good enough, then just a mile or so down the road, off in the distance over to the left, was the factory, Stone Container. And it's such a blessing when you know God's going to send you the answer. He's going to give it to you. He knows the number of hairs on our head. He knows it all. And there you have it. He handed me what I'd been trying to rack my brain to find. Stone Container Company. And it was a miracle. It was. I had to call Robert right back and say, honey, God just gave me the answer. Robert calls them God breezes. Some people call them God winks. But there it was, just right there beside me. And then over in the distance, this wonderful blessing, wonderful blessing, that He answers my questions. Answers my questions. So I told you this morning we would talk about the 27 fling boogie. Now, clutter is of the devil. I promise you, it really is. Because that clutter is keeping you from what your purpose is for living. It's become a cocoon around you. It keeps people away, even though COVID's doing a good job of that right now. But it keeps people away from you. And when I first started getting organized, on New Year's Day of 1999, this is how long it's been, it's 22 years ago, I woke up and said, I'm going to get organized. That's it. I'm going to get organized. This is the year I'm going to get organized. And I did the one thing. I grabbed the one thing that I knew had worked for me in the past, and that was Pam Young and Peggy Jones's card file system from the Sidetracked Home Executives. And I had stashed it back up in my cabinets, way back at the back, so I didn't have to see it because it made me feel guilty. Made me feel guilty, y'all. Something that's supposed to work shouldn't make you feel guilty. And so I started going through the cards. And I didn't have just a little 3x5 card file box, a little recipe box. I had a tray that was this long, and if it had one card, it had 500. It had 1 through 31 dividers, days of the week dividers. It had the months of the year dividers. So I just pulled all the cards out of there. And they were color-coded cards. Yellow for daily, green for weekly, blue for something. Anyway, I had all these different color-coded cards. And I was determined to figure out why I could never get organized. I didn't have a clue. No clue. That system would work if I did it. But if I missed a day, I beat myself up, and it just made me crazy. Made me crazy. And I was obsessive compulsive. And when you're obsessive about something, you think one card will be fine, but 500 cards will be even better, won't it? Yeah, I wonder where I got that. Well, I stood at my kitchen counter, and I sorted these cards. Sorted these cards into a daily pile, a weekly pile, and a monthly pile. And then I took the daily cards, and I looked at them. It's 52 of them. Over 50 cards. And I thought to myself, I can't do this. I'll make a list. So I took a sheet of paper, just plain old notebook paper. There's 26 lines on one side and 26 lines on the other. I made this big long list, no certain order to it, of those 52 items. And then I just looked at it and said, I can't do this. I can't do it. So what I figured out from that, and then there were the weekly cards. So I sorted those into the days of the week, Monday through Sunday. Sorted them into the days of the week, and then I took the monthly cards And there was certain cards for each month and things that needed to be done on a monthly basis. And I divided that into zones. That's where our zones came up. Zones 1 through 5. The whole process was all about slamming me, being mean to me. And I stopped myself. I said, this is not doing any good. This is not doing me any good. I need to figure out why this system never worked for me unless I stayed with it. Well, consistency is my word this year. So I took those cards, I took that attitude, and what I figured out is I had never, ever established a habit. Just one habit. Now, I had Pam and Peggy's book, but I didn't read it. I thought, I'll just thumb through it and I'll get it through osmosis. I'll just get it through osmosis. Well, it doesn't work that way. You've got to practice. You've got to practice those habits. Practice them. So I decided right there and then I would pick one habit to practice for the whole month of January. And it came to me that psychologists tell us it takes 21 days to establish a habit. Well, guess what? They don't know us. They think they do, but they don't know us. Because if we miss a day, we're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so I decided I would take the whole month of January to practice this one habit. And that one habit I picked from my husband. He said to me early on in our married life, and this was 2 years in, he said, you know, honey, if you'll keep one side of the sink open, I'll make you coffee every day. And I can get me a drink of water. Because I was bad to put all the dirty dishes in the sink, fill it up with hot soapy water, and leave it overnight. Sometimes I'd take both sides of the sink. And it was just, you wake up in the morning, be greeted by this mystery water, grease floating on top. You'd have to take the dishes out of the sink to get to the stopper. And then you'd have to, it was so nasty, you'd have to take the barbecue tongs to pull the stopper. And he said, honey, if you just leave one side open. And I thought to myself, you know, he doesn't ask for much. I can do that. So Robert had built the house in the 70s. And we got married in 96. So the sink in the house, and we have hard water, the sink in the house had years and years of that scale, the calcium deposits on the sink. Well, I decided I was going to shine that sink any way I could. And I put those cards aside and I picked that one habit. And that one habit changed my life. And it can change yours. Shining my sink. I scrubbed it really well. I used Comet on it and it still didn't get it as clean as I wanted. So I rinsed it really well. This is the key here. You got to rinse it between steps. I filled it up with hot water. I put a half a cup of bleach in it. Let it sit. Rinse. Let it sit for about an hour, and then I drained it. Then I took a butter knife and I scraped the edges of the sink all the way around it. I took a toothbrush and cleaned around the faucets. And by the time I finished, that sink looked like a brand new penny. It wasn't copper either, but it was brand new. It was a beautiful sink. And so my goal was to keep it that clean and shiny every day. I had watched my granny my whole life. When she would get through doing the dishes and putting them away, she would take her dish towel and wipe her sink out and dry it so she didn't get those water spots on it. She didn't want any water spots on her sink. And by the end of the month, The whole kitchen was clean because of this one thing. It said, it said to me when I got up, it said, wow, look at me. Look at me. Big smile come across my face because I wasn't being greeted with nasty water. The countertops got cleared because when you got a sink that clean and shiny, you're going to empty that dishwasher because you got to have a place to put your dirty dishes. It becomes your dirty dish disposal unit. And then the stove said, clean me too. And I'd wipe the stove down and wipe the countertops. I decluttered the countertops. They were green. I remember they were green. And the cabinets were dark brown. They were Formica cabinets, but they were good cabinets. I liked those cabinets. We had copper tone appliances. And the most amazing thing happened. The floor got cleaned. It was yellow linoleum that had grooves in it that was just full of dirt. I cleaned the floor. The whole kitchen by the end of the month was sparkling. And you know, when your kitchen is clean, you don't mind getting in there and cooking. It's fun to cook when you start with a clean kitchen. Well, that was my first habit. The second habit was decluttering 15 minutes every day. And that's where the 27 Fling Boogie was born. The 27 Fling Boogie is a fun game. I was reading 2 books at the same time. Have you ever done that? I had one book I read in the morning and one book I read in the afternoon. And I wouldn't spend long reading them because I'm not a good reader, but I was reading them. I was reading The 9 Steps to Financial Freedom by Susie Orman. And the other book was 101 Ways to Feng Shui Your Home. And before I knew it, I put the 2 together into the 27 Fling Boogie because Susie said, run through your house and gather up 25 items to give away. And then gather up 25 items to throw away. Yeah, trash. And then the 101 Ways to Feng Shui Your Home said, if you will move 9 things, y'all, 9 things, you will create a different flow of energy in your home. Don't understand it, don't care to understand it, but I thought it was fun. You got to make it fun or it won't get done. So I took those 9 things and I thought, Susie's doing 25. 9 times 3 is 27. And that's how the 27 Fling Boogie was born. You run through your house and gather up 27 items to give away. Just run through your house with a bag and then take it out to your car. And then you run through your house and do 27 items to throw away. And you put it directly in the trash. Do not pass go. Go directly to your trash can and put it in the trash can. If you have to take it outside to do it and put it in the trash can so nobody goes picking through the trash, then do that too. And I did that 3 times a day. 3 times a day. And bam, clutter started going away. Clutter started going out the door. And I had rules for taking things to the Humane Society. I couldn't bring anything home. I couldn't bring anything home. I couldn't go into the Humane Society. I could only drop things off at the back. So you see, that 27 Fling Boogie, that game I played with myself, got my home organized. But I had to get the clutter out of my home. I had to do it. Because if I didn't do it, it'd still be here. And I wouldn't be Fly Lady. And as my clutter went away, and I did this for about 9 months, I gave birth to a new me. When the clutter left, by April, it was getting better and better and better. And then I wrote my first little essay / outline on, I forget the topic now. I can probably find it. But I wrote a 4-page outline and shared it with a bunch of people. And And then I was on this message board for Pam and Peggy, and amazing people kept asking for my help. It was just kind of interesting. And then Pam and Peggy were going to start taking, they had a message board and you were going to have to register. And they were going to put cookies on your computer. And someone's husband said she couldn't stay on the message board anymore because if she stayed on the message board, she would get a cookie on her computer. Not that you can stop these things. You have to say okay now a lot of times. Except the cookies. And someone asked, will you please start an email list so I can stay in touch with you? And you know, I didn't even think twice. I just did it. And it was on something called One List at the time. They got bought out, which, you know, companies in San Jose, California, they always buying each other. They bought out, E-Groups bought them, and then Yahoo bought them. And we ended up being Yahoo's largest group in the whole world. Yeah, largest group in the whole world. I traveled the country with Yahoo people, Yahoo groups. Seeing how you can make a difference helping people. Helping people. So that's how it all kind of started. Somebody says they, on YouTube says they use Barkeeper's Friend. That's a good product. I like that product. I use it in my bathroom and in my kitchen. So we've been around a long time, y'all. In December we were 21 years old. We've been doing this for 21 years, y'all. And it works. It really does work if you will let go of your perfectionism. It's all you got to do. It's all you got to do. So everybody, drink your tea. It's good for you. I don't know if you know this, but our tea, Leanne and I designed our tea. We told the tea sommelier what we wanted. We wanted a green tea, we wanted an Earl Grey, and we wanted a black tea. 3 different types of teas. He said, that's not going to work. And he sent us some tea that he thought would work, and it was nasty. And so we said, we told you what we wanted. We'll find somebody else to do it. And you know, he did it just the way we wanted it. He did it just the way we wanted. Yeah, the tea dude. Leanne and I were in the car together, and we said, this is awful. We're not drinking this tea. We can't sell this tea. Here's what we want. And we were ready to find somebody else. And we got a tea that we absolutely love. And if you hadn't tried our tea, you need to try it because it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I'm having to drink the decaf now. It's our tea. We made this tea. It comes in a nice black package. I think this is Wise Women Body Clutter Tea. Yep, this is our tea. So folks, what's for dinner at your house? Bonnie's got her tea coming. You got to try it. You really do. It is so good. It is so good. So drink up. And please share our videos. Yeah, we like to help people. And when you share our videos, you help a lot of people. And it's on our website. It's on Leanne's website. We got the tea everywhere. You got to go check out Leanne's new website. It is absolutely gorgeous. The tea is grown in India. Yeah, we didn't do any China tea. It comes from India. Anyway, folks, I love you all. I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow is what day? What day is it tomorrow? It's Wednesday, which is always Anti-Procrastination Day. Anti-Procrastination Day. So we're going to get some stuff done. I love you all. I will see you later. Bye.